And we're going to open up KV Core. Today we're focusing on campaign basics. So you guys should be able to see my screen, and we are on the KV Core dashboard. And so the way you get to your campaigns is you're going to navigate to the toolbar to the left and take your mouse and go down to the little paper airplane. And this is everything marketing. So you can navigate and actually click on Smart Campaigns, and it will take you right into the campaign section of the dashboard. So this breaks down into three major sections. The first one is My Campaigns. And so this is everything that you have at your fingertips at this moment in time. The name of the campaigns are over to the left. You can actually access the campaign by clicking on it, and we'll go in that in just a moment. There's a campaign description. So if this is written by KV Core, they have a pretty nice description there for you, so you can see what it's about if the name doesn't give you enough information. Starts when, so this is going to be what the system calls a trigger. So it's basically, when does a campaign get assigned to a lead? So most of the time this is going to be pretty simple, like an open house campaign will be assigned when the source is open house. So when a buyer comes in and maybe they came in through the open house app or something like that, that hashtag is going to trigger and it will place them on this campaign. And we'll go into how this works and how you can change these in a little while. Designed for is going to be buyer, seller, renter, that type of thing. And then channels here is really important. This is going to be how the system either reaches out to the client, and that's going to be through texts and emails, and then how the system is going to reach out to you. So calls and tasks, these are actually agent based. So the system is not going to call the client. This is actually pretty much like a task for you, and I'll show you where these show up for you. And then there's other ones that are less popular, like adding a hashtag and things like that. So if you scroll through, you'll see that different campaigns have a different scope of touch points. So if you scroll down, some of these are going to be task only. So these are going to be not automated. Basically, the system is reminding you to either get something done or call them or text them or something like that. So this gives you a little bit more control, but a lot less automation. So just keep that in mind when you're choosing a campaign. Up next, we have touches. So this is going to be the amount of touches that the system either makes on your behalf or reminds you to make. So this is another thing. If you're looking for something that's more set it and forget it, something with a higher touch point is going to be what you want to seek out. Always run. We will go over this in just a minute. Status right here is if it's on or off. So if there's one and you're like, well, I'm not really a big fan of that campaign, you can turn it off. Pretty easy to do, and it's just going to make sure that's what you want to do. We'll say no. And then the scope here. So company, these are all going to be on your dashboard already. These are the things that you have available to you and that they set up to run, either to be available or to actually run automatically. So come in here and check these out and make sure that these are set up. If you see user, these are going to be things that you've added yourself. So that leads me to my next section, which is the KV Core library. So up at the top, if you click the KV Core library, this is going to be their library of campaigns. And it's going to be the same information breakdown here. The name, a description, when the campaign starts, so on and so forth. And there are 25 campaigns here, I believe. Yeah, there's 25. And there's actually lots of different buyer campaigns. So I don't want you guys to think that you are confined to just the one single buyer campaign that's on your My Library tab. There's actually a lot here for renters and Sphere and that type of thing. So if you do find one that you're interested in, you'll simply click Add to My Library, and it will move it over into your campaign section. So let's open one of these up just to take a look at it. Default prospect, homeowner. So when you click on, excuse me, when you click on the name of a campaign, it is going to give you all of the steps. Time frame is going to be when the client receives that immediately. And I do want to clarify here, the way Zap was set up, if you are familiar with Zap, is that each subsequent step is based on the time frame of the first step. So they would get the first email, and then one day later, they would get the second email. kvCORE's is a little bit different. Every single time frame is based on when the lead was actually put into your system. So if a lead has been in your system for, say, 10 days, they're going to receive all the steps or emails from day 10, rather than, about 30 days or 20 days or however that spaces out. So immediately the system would reach out to you and basically give you whatever steps. So immediately, basically, as soon as the lead gets entered, that happens. Day one would be the next day, and so on and so forth. So method is what it is. It's email, text, call. And again, calls, you'll see system to agent. So from agent to the contact, this is automated. The system is going to send an email from you to the contact. If you ever see system, this is going to be a reminder to you to get something done. And the two methods are call and task. So here's another task. So call and task will always be from the system to the agent, and text and email are going to be from the agent to the contact, and those are automated, and you can see, you can preview these as well. And so I just want to give you guys a little bit perspective on call and task. So I'm just going to pop right back into my dashboard.
Hey, Blair.
Yes.
So that texting part, so the system will text them automatically, or
Yes.
is it notifying us to text?
So it's an automatic text to the lead from the smart number on your behalf.
Wow. Okay. Gotcha.
And if that's not something that you want, you can actually edit that and set it to tasks so that you can actually send the text. The system will actually remind you. Yeah. So here we are on the dashboard, and this is your daily summary. So these are the things that you have to complete, and you'll see here are calls and tasks. So the system will never call a lead on your behalf. It's just going to remind you to call or drop by their house or order them a magazine, or however you guys want this set up. Calls and tasks are things for you to do, not for the system to do for the lead. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so here we go. Right here it says immediately when the lead is entered into the system, it says it's going to send the client a text. Are you selling SMS? So it's basically a title for this text. So if I'm curious about what this looks like, I could preview it, and here's what it's going to look like. It won't have a subject line because it's just a text message, right? However, emails, they will have something similar to this, and it says, hi, first name, I've been showing a few properties near you to clients, blah blah blah, whatever. So one thing you're going to see here are these parameters, and these are called merge tags, and it's basically a data feed from the lead's information. So it's not going to say hi first name, it will say hi Sherry or hi Kara or whatever the lead's name is. So it's kind of a cool way to automate and still keep it really personal. So we're just previewing a campaign right now. This is not something I can edit. You see, I'm missing my actual edit buttons here because we're just previewing a campaign in the library. If this is something that I wanted to use, I could open it up, preview it, and then clone this campaign. Or we'll go through those steps in a little bit. Oopsie. If I go back, from the KV Core library, I can just add it to my library here, and this is a little bit easier. We are gonna do, see if I can find that campaign again.
If you add it to your library or you clone it, does it go to the same place?
Yes, it goes to the same place.
Okay.
Yep. So if I click add to my library, it says campaign was successfully added to your campaigns, and we did default homeowner sphere. So once I click add to my library, I'm going to scroll up and go to my campaigns. And I believe they start at the bottom. Oh, here it is right here. And you can see this one says user. So if you ever copy something over, it's not going to be at the company level, it'll be at your agent level. And it's not turned on automatically once you add it because it wants to give you the chance to actually go in and edit those steps or whatever. So as soon as you add it, it's not active. You actually physically have to come in here and turn it on. Okay, so let's click default homeowner sphere. We're going to go into this campaign again now that I own it. So you'll see this screen looks a little bit different now. There's a lot more options, a lot more little buttons to press. So over here, you can turn the campaign on here as well. You can clone this again if you want to maybe have a couple different versions. Maybe you're marketing in Perdido and Pensacola, and you're going to have maybe a little bit of different wording or something like that. You can go ahead and clone it again so you can change the wording and personalize it as much as you want. Removing, that's just going to delete it, and then you can share it if that's something you want to do. Over here are the campaign settings or the campaign logic. We're going to go through this last. This is the most complicated part. So we're going to spend our time here and see if we can straighten that out. So here you have all of your steps. Again, the method, email, and text, these are going to be from the system to the contact. And then tasks and calls are going to be reminders from the system to you to get it done. Anything that has a preview pane, you can go ahead and open. Again, there's that template there for you. And if it's something that you don't like, let's say we want to change the first email. You can come in here and change a few things. The only things that's not going to be available for you to edit is the actual wording. So I'm hoping that they add that because it would be nice to come in here and just straight edit from this screen. But you actually have to create an actual piece of contact. So I'll show you guys how to do that. But from the edit action, you can change the name. You can pick a new template. So rather than physically changing the wording, you have to apply a new template. If you want to view the existing template, you just click preview. From and to, this is either the system to you or from the agent to the contact. And if you guys are working really closely with a lender, you can actually have the system do reminders to your lender as well. So if that's something you're interested, you can do that. But system to agent is going to be the most popular along with agent to contact. So if you want the system to send an email or a text, that's going to be agent to contact. And if you want the system to tell you to do something, that's system to agent. Run immediately. This is going to be if you want this action to take place as soon as the lead enters the system. But let's say we want to give them maybe a day to check out our website, or maybe we want this email to go out in a week, something like that. Timing wise, you're going to turn this off if it's not off automatically. And then you've got to specify your time unit and time value. And this is a really complicated way of saying, okay, I want this to go out in a day or a week or 30 days or whatever. So if I click on time unit, you can space it out by minutes, hours, or days. And then your time value is going to be how many of that unit. So, 7 days, 30 days, however long you want it to be. You'll set that and then you can update it.
Hey, Blair,
Yeah.
why did you, and I'm sorry, I missed that. You turned off run immediately. Why was that?
So run immediately is an action that takes place as soon as the lead enters the system. So this one was literally step one. If you'll look in my background here, it says immediately checking in. This is a email that gets sent out as soon as the lead enters the system.
Okay, okay.
So we
Yeah.
really don't want this to not run immediately. But I'm just showing you if it is something maybe you want to send out in a couple days or what have you.
Yeah, and where it's not right upon entry, it's more so later in the.
Right, maybe in
Okay,
2
I
days
gotcha.
or
Okay,
exactly. This campaign is it's a sphere campaign. So this is someone who owns a house and who's in your sphere. So we probably don't want this person to get an email every 2 days or every day. You'll see here it says they get an email when they're placed on a campaign, and then it's going to hit them up basically every 30 days. So this is really nice for someone that you don't want. Maybe it's your neighbor or something like that, and you don't want to pummel them with information. You can do that, but you can come in here and edit these and add steps. Okay. So let's say you want to add a task. We're going to add a task 10 days after they are placed on the campaign. You can add actions here. You can do emails and texts. These are going to be with templates. Tasks are things that the system reminds you to do, right? Calls as well are going to be things the system reminds you to do. Adding a tag. This is really helpful to kind of keep the system in line. So let's say I put someone on a 2-week long lead campaign. After that campaign ends, I need my system to be able to tell me that A, this person's completed the campaign, and B, I need the system to place that person on a new campaign, just so I'm staying in touch with them. So you can either have the system tell you that, or you can, give them a hashtag and it will put them on a new campaign. So add an action. We're going to do hashtags. The name, let's say this is default homeowner sphere. Let's say once we're done with this, we want them on a holiday campaign. So once this person goes through this campaign, I'm going to apply a hashtag that's completed sphere campaign or whatever. So this tells me, A, this person went through the campaign, and I can actually use this hashtag later to trigger a new campaign. So keep that in mind. That's really important. So we're going to say name holiday campaign completed sphere when they're done. Let's see. It's actually a long campaign, 1,000-day campaign. That's impressive. Okay, so let's say on day 1,000. Completed spirit campaign on day 2,000. Okay, we'll add that. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So what I just did was add a hashtag to this lead. So as soon as they go through this entire campaign on day 1,000, it's going to add a hashtag to this lead that it completed the campaign. So that's really important to kind of let you know where these leads are at. And I realize that day 1,000, that's kind of like an extreme scenario, right? But if it's like a 30-day campaign or 6-month campaign or something like that, you get the gist. So they're not falling through the cracks as soon as they finish another campaign. Another thing that you can do is you can add an action and add a task. We'll see. Okay, so if you guys ever see template here, you actually have to apply a template. So with a hashtag, I could go in this window and actually just create it and go about my day. For text, calls, and tasks, you have to pick a template. We're going to look at that real quick. I'm going to go back out to my campaign, Smart Campaign dashboard. We went through my campaigns in the KV Core library, and we're going to go into templates. So templates, if you're familiar with Zap, templates are like the pieces of a campaign. So every email, every text, every task, those are all pre-formatted, templates, basically. So we're going to scroll down. And there's a lot here that exists already for you. There's a lot of emails. So these are all email templates. And if I scroll down, I believe there's like 150 perhaps that exist, 143. So you have your title. This is going to give you a little bit of information about, what it's for. These are nurturing emails. So this is going to be trying to get someone to communicate with you. This is the subject, and then you can clone it if you want to use it. You also have text messages. And these are the same. Calls and tasks. So what we were trying to do was create a task. So our Sphere campaign ended. We don't want this person to fall through the cracks. We want to put them on another campaign so the system is staying in touch with them. So what I did was add a hashtag, completed campaign, and now I'm going to add a task to remind me to put them on a new campaign. So what I'm going to do is add a template here. You guys won't see this scope here. It's going to be set automatically to you. That's just because I'm an admin. And let's say the title is going to be new campaign, or the template name. Place lead on a new campaign. Very simple, right? So I'm just creating the task so I can access it on my edit screen. So you can go through these. There is probably one that exists already, but there's plenty of reminders here. So they have them for you as well. End of Sphere campaign, moves to Sphere campaign. So there's lots of things here. They're pretty in tune with what you guys need and the tasks that you're going to want to run. With the emails, let's say you're looking at a campaign and it has an email set up in the campaign and you're not a huge fan of it. I wonder if I can. Okay, let's see, WorkSphere email template 2. Let's say this is in our Sphere campaign and I'm not a huge fan of it. I've previewed it. It's not great, or the wording could be a little bit different, or maybe I want to put in some information about relocation programs or something that's going on in Perdido. Who knows? What I'm going to do is click clone, and it's just going to create a copy of this for me so that I can edit it. I'm going to change the scope to full air so people don't see a weird example that doesn't make any sense on their campaign templates. And then the template name. So this is pretty obvious. WorkSphere email template 2. It's a copy. But let's say we're changing this wording to apply to Perdido leads or something like that. You can do that. You can reword this. I would recommend doing something obvious because, as you can see, there's 150 templates in there. Now there's going to be 151. You're going to want to be able to single this template out specifically and not, having to go back and forth and find what you're looking for. Subject is going to be the email subject. We all know what that is. And then here is the body of our template. So you can come in here and say whatever you want to say. If this is not enough for you and you want to have some more interaction or some information, just add your information in here. Open-ended questions are great. They get the person to talk to you. So that's really what we're trying to do, right? And then you can also take advantage of the text editor up here. Most of this hopefully is familiar to you guys. Regular text editing. You can say add me on Facebook by clicking here. or, you know, add my page, check out my Facebook page, and you can actually enter that URL, facebook.com. Yes, but I think it's that. And you can actually do hyperlinks as well. This little sunshine here, these are the merge tags. So let's say I want to say, hi, Sherry, just checking in. I want the lead's name to pull in. What I'm going to do is put my cursor where it belongs. Click on my little sunshine. And then I'm going to hover over lead. And here's all of the information that you can pull in from a lead. First name and last name are going to be the most popular, right? So you can just click first name. And there you go. Hi, first name. So these merge tags are really cool. Easy way to add in that personalization and automation. Let's say I want to say, yeah, gonna be formal because that's all I can think of. Sincerely, and then I want my name to go in. I'm going to click my merge tag again, and there's my agent information. So very easy. Once I'm done editing everything, I'm going to clone this template. So I've created my own version, or from scratch. If there's something else out there, go ahead and you know, build it out and add it to your template first. That's going to be how you guys are actually going to create a campaign. So the first step is creating the template, adding it in here, and then going into your campaign and adding that step. So we'll go back to my campaigns. Here's my default homeowner sphere. This is what we're working out of today. And let's say I want to send an email out on day 10. So I'm going to add an action. I'm going to add that email in. And let's say we called it test, right? So I put test there so it's easy for me to remember. I can pull it right up and pull that template in.
Hey, Blair.
Yeah.
With those, and I was on one of the other meetings, but they said to do like asterisk and then your initials at the beginning of everything.
Yeah.
That's another great way, you know,
Yeah.
that you can spot it. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Putting your initials there is a great way to say, hey, I made this or whatever. Yeah, that's a great system. Good suggestion. Thank you, Sherry. Okay, so the name up top, this is basically the name of the action, or the not the template, the name of the action. So we're going to say day 10 email. Keep it simple. We've added our template. You can preview it here and make sure it looks right. And then we're going to scroll on, and it's going to be from the agent to the contact. So this is automating. It's just going to send it out for me. Remember, run immediately. That means it's going to send to the lead as soon as they come in. So we're going to leave this off. Our time unit is going to be days. And we want the time value to be 10. So 10 days after the lead enters the system, they're going to get this email. And I'm going to add it in. And boom, there it is. On day 10, they're going to get this email, and you guys can preview it here.
I've got just another question for you.
Sure.
I saw that you added the sincerely and then the agent name. I wasn't sure with the emails in here if it's set up. I don't remember if I set up
To do
like
your
my
signature.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want it to do double. So how?
Yeah.
And I forget if I don't even know where to go to find out if I did my signature. So I don't know.
Okay, so there's two ways. There's really two places you need to go to check. The first is when you're working on your template, down at the very bottom. And I'm sorry, you're right. I did not scroll down far enough. This is a setting, so you can just make sure that it's going to include it automatically.
Okay.
Or if you don't want it and you just want it to be informal, you can do it that way. But make sure that's on and update your template. And then once that change is made, it's also going to reflect in all the campaigns that step is in. So you only have to change it here and you're good to go. And the second part is if you come up here to my profile, definitely make sure everything is set up here. But if you scroll down, your signature needs to be turned on here. And there should be a place to add that.
Or it creates it for you based on your contact info.
Yeah, I thought you were able to actually customize it, but we'll Google that in a minute. I'll look in the support platform before we leave. maybe because it was turned off, it's not going to populate. Interesting. Okay, we'll look into that.
Okay.
Let's go to marketing. Oops. So we're going back into smart campaigns. The last piece of the puzzle that we need to look at here is the campaign logic. So we're in default homeowner sphere. We've looked at all the steps. We've looked at how to add a template. And we've looked at how to add that action or that template into the system. The last step is the campaign settings. So this is basically saying who, what, why, all of those things. So we're going to click edit. And the first thing that you guys are going to see is campaign logic. You won't see this campaign scope because you're not an admin. So we'll change this to me. And this is going to say, when does this campaign start? So lead is new. This is going to be for all leads that enter the system and they're brand new. You can add a source if there is one. You don't have to. One thing we discussed is, what if the lead is new, they go through their campaign and then the campaign ends? We want the campaign to start when that completed campaign hashtag is applied, right? So our sphere went through this sphere campaign on day 1000. That hashtag is added that they completed that campaign. Or whatever it was. I think it was sphere or something like that. My poor memory.
Sphere completed. Yeah, some sphere campaign completed or something.
Yeah. So you can actually create a hashtag here, or if you have an existing hashtag, they'll show up, but just make sure you press enter and then that it shows up there and it will apply. So that's the most basic level. That's really all you have to do. If you want to get more specific, you can add more triggers. So I'm going to go back to the lead is new example because this is the most intuitive. When someone comes in the system, what campaign are they going to get? Advanced triggers are here. So let's say you are a Z Team agent, or you have leads coming in from realtor.com and Zillow. You're paying for both sources. We want the campaign to start when the lead is new and when the source is, realtor.com. So you can specify source. So you can have two campaigns, a realtor.com campaign and a Zillow campaign. Another way that this is work, or another example here, is let's say you've created a campaign and there's phone calls and there's text and things like that, but you are going to have some leads come in without a phone number. So you're going to want an email only campaign. So if that's the case, the lead is new and phone is empty or is not empty. So you see, this is really how you can get really specific. Hashtags, they're in here as well. And you can add multiple triggers. So let's say phone is empty and hashtag is whatever. So I can create a campaign and have it set up that when a lead comes in, the phone number is empty and they are, maybe I got them off a credit repair landing page or something like that, how to repair your credit. It knows to apply that specific template. So this is kind of where the system is complicated, but it's beautiful because there's endless possibilities. You guys are only limited by, your imagination and your creativity and what you want to put out there.
Okay, bye.
Now, let's say I have two campaigns or three campaigns. I have a new lead campaign. I have a new lead campaign where the source is Zillow, and I have a new lead campaign where the source is Zillow and the phone number is empty. So when a lead comes in, they technically could get all three campaigns, right? The system is set so that if however many parameters the lead meets, it's going to get that most specific one, right? So whatever campaign is most specifically applied to them is what they're going to get. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Always run. Okay, so the system is set up in that way. Let's say they meet a parameter in 3 campaigns. However, they don't have a phone number and they got tagged by credit repair. They're not going to get the general new lead one. They're going to just get the specific campaign. Always run overrides that. So when you say always run, it means they're going to get this campaign. Maybe they, meet the new lead campaign and you also want them to get this one or whatever the case may be. It's basically saying, I want them on 2 campaigns. So you need to be really specific with this because we don't want them getting 3 emails in a day or a couple of different text messages that don't make sense. So be very specific with that. Always run would be something like a holiday campaign or something very sparse that you've created that isn't going to overload or overwhelm the lead.
Yeah,
Just
like a birthday, like you said, perfect. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Holidays and birthdays. That's a great example.
Mhm.
All right. Locked is if this is really for me. This is if you were on a team or something like that, and you're creating this at a higher scope for people underneath you. So if you see this, it's not really applicable. And we'll click next. Up next, who's it designed for? Renters, vendors, agents, if you want to do that. So make sure you have the right selection there. Set details. This is just the campaign name and the description. So make sure you come in here, put in your initials, if that's what you want to do. Make sure the description is right. So if it's for realtor.com leads with phone number or whatever. If you're getting really specific in your settings, make sure it's in your campaign description because it's going to be a pain in the butt later to make sure you're looking at the right thing. And then click next. What we're going to do now is review, make sure everything looks right, make sure you don't have any spelling errors like I do. And then you'll click finish. So the campaign was successfully updated. Everything looks good here. My logic looks right. The only thing that I'm missing now is to activate the campaign. So once I turn this on, any lead that comes in that's a buyer lead and the phone number is empty and the hashtag is credit repair, this is the lead that's going to turn on. Make sense?
Yes.
Excellent. One other thing I do want to kind of put on your plate is that this question comes up a lot and it's about reviews. Well, you've got a Facebook review, you got a Zillow.com review, or whatever, Google, all those things. I thought it would be a great idea to come into templates and go ahead and create an email template asking for reviews. And subject, you're going to have to be a little creative here. It's however you want to spin it. I hope you had a great experience with me. By the way, if you want to share, you can leave a review here. And you can put Zillow, Google, Facebook, Yelp, whatever, and you can actually link these out.
That's nice because I send them a nice email after closing, but it'll be nice to have it automated.
Right. So you can actually create a closed campaign and make this your first step. So as soon as you mark them closed, they're going to get this email and it does it for you. So this is a nice little idea to automate. And it also gives me a chance to show you guys the advanced editor over here. So this is a really basic like HTML text box. If you guys want to get really fancy, you can use the advanced editor. And yeah, okay, it's loading. It was like, all right. So this is very much more so current, right? So over here, you're actually going to drag content pieces. So you can say,
you can make it look all pretty and add pictures and stuff. Oh, that's what I was going to ask because I didn't see that. Is that for any template or pretty much any template you can use this for?
If you go in and you copy, or if you copy a template or make a new one, this is an option. It's just over here to the right, the advanced editor. And you'll see it's really cool. I mean, text colors, you can actually, if you have the hex code, which I can't remember what ours is, but you can have the Better Homes and Gardens green on here if you want. Let's see. We're done with that. How do I go back? Delete that. Another really cool thing that I think would be a good idea is if you come here to the content pieces, you can add a video. Core video, this is going to be BombBomb. So this is basically streamlined. It just opens up a recorder and you can record straight from your computer. If you don't want to pay for the BombBomb subscription, all you have to do is add in that video element. And then all it takes is a YouTube link. So you can actually make a video. Hey, you know, I really loved being your realtor. I just wanted to blah, blah, blah. If you had a great experience, you know, referrals mean the most to me. However you want to spend that. And you can actually add that video in. So go ahead and make a video, upload it to your YouTube. And that way you're automating a really cool, you know, personal experience that way.
I think it'd be fun to do that for birthdays. Right.
Absolutely. Happy birthday. It's right in here. All you have to do is make it. So really, I mean, the system is wide open and you're only limited by how much work you want to put into this and how personal you want to make it. All right. Do we have any questions? I think the only thing we really need to look at is the signature. Where do we add your signature? So I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.